Many of us grew up with Disney stars like Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, Olivia Rodrigo, and Zendaya. But there's another name that deserves to stand among them. A Disney star who became one of Latin America's biggest pop icons. Her name is TINI. One of Argentina's best-selling recording artists, TINI ranks among the country's highest-grossing touring acts and is the second most streamed Argentine performer today. In 2016, The Hollywood Reporter named her one of the 25 most powerful women in global television. From 2018 through 2020, she was Billboard Argentina's Artist of the Year and the most streamed Argentine woman on Spotify 3 years in a row. In 2025, Madame Tussauds Hot 100 recognized her as an innovator of Latin pop music. Her own introduction to TINI began with the song Down. And it was the start of a deep dive into her incredible story. A story that shows how a young girl from Buenos Aires became one of the defining voices of a new generation in Latin music. Martina Stoessel, better known as TINI, was born in Buenos Aires to Mariana Muslera and television director-producer Alejandro Stoessel. She has an older brother, Francisco, and grew up in a family where the world of television was part of daily life. Her father, Alejandro, was one of Argentina's most prominent TV producers, the man behind several hit youth shows. Martina made her first screen appearance as a child in the popular series Patito Feo, playing a small role that hinted at her natural charisma. It was the beginning of something much bigger. A few years later, her father presented an unrelated project to Disney Channel executives. They mentioned upcoming auditions for a new Disney musical series called Violetta. Martina decided to try it out. After a long and competitive casting process, she landed the leading role of Violetta Castillo, the show's bright, music-loving protagonist. The series, co-produced by Disney Channel Latin America, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, began filming in Buenos Aires in 2012. TINI not only starred in all 3 seasons, but also performed the show's main theme, En Mi Mundo, released as a single on April 5th, 2012. The song launched her as a recording artist and gave fans around the world their first taste of her voice. From July 2013 to March 2014, TINI and the cast of Violetta toured Latin America and Europe with their live show, Violetta en Vivo. The tour grossed over $17.5 million, making it one of the most successful concert tours ever by a South American artist. Meanwhile, Violetta became one of Disney's biggest non-English language exports, broadcast in over 140 countries and dubbed into 15 languages. After the series ended, TINI faced the same challenge that many Disney stars encountered, proving she could stand on her own as an artist. In 2016, she released her self-titled debut album, TINI, through Hollywood Records. It included songs from Violetta and her first original material under her own name. The album's success took her on tour across Europe and Latin America the following year, but TINI wasn't satisfied with staying in the safe world of pop ballads. In 2018, she released her second album, Quiero Volver, where she began exploring Latin pop and reggae sounds. The album marked a turning point. She was no longer the girl from Disney, but a young woman finding her sound. Her collaborations with artists from across Latin America helped her reach a new, more mature audience. The pandemic in 2020 forced her to postpone plans for another tour, but she used the time to focus on writing and experimenting with new rhythms. The result was her third studio album, TINI TINI TINI, released on December 3rd, 2020. The record blended reggaeton, cumbia, and Latin trap, a high-energy mix that cemented her as one of Latin pop's leading voices. The album sold over 500,000 digital units in Argentina, earned double diamond certification, and racked up hundreds of millions of streams worldwide. By 2021, TINI had signed with Sony Music Latin and reunited with fellow Argentine star Maria Becerra. Their collaboration became a massive hit, reaching #1 in Argentina for 6 consecutive weeks and appearing on multiple Billboard charts, a historic achievement for an Argentine female artist. In 2023, she kept the momentum going with her 4th album, Cupido. The project fused cumbia, urban pop reggaeton, and even a touch of electronic sound, showing that TINI could adapt to any genre while keeping her unique sparkle. But 2024 brought her most personal project yet, Un Mechón de Pelo, a lock of hair. For the first time, every song was written by TINI herself. The album deals with heavy themes: the pressure of fame at a young age, her struggles with depression, and the experience of growing up in the public eye. She described it as her most honest and intimate work, an album that reveals the human being behind the pop star. Critics and fans praised her vulnerability and maturity, marking it as a defining moment in her artistic evolution. Now in 2025, TINI is touring the world with her Futura tour, her most ambitious live show to date. It brings together songs from every era of her career, blending her early Disney magic with the confidence and power of today's Latin pop queen. Yes, TINI can be called a nepo baby, much like another pop artist, Madison Beer, whose early connections helped her enter the industry. TINI's father's influence in Argentine television certainly opened doors for her, but unlike many who never move beyond that advantage, she proved she has the talent, discipline, and charisma to build a global career on her own terms. So now I want to ask you, when did you first discover TINI? Was it through Violetta, through one of her Latin hits, or maybe through her latest albums? And which of her songs is your favorite? Let's talk about it in the comments.